Welcome to episode 3 of a series I'm doing called Kingdom Closers, a sales training series where I'm showing you guys how to effectively communicate with one another so that we could do more business, help more people, and ultimately live better lives. Now, there are 6 things that you could do today for the next 6 to 12 months that are going to get you to be a closer. It's going to level up your sales skills. I'm going to give you those 6 things today. If you do these 6 things for the next 6 to 12 months, I promise you, you will come out a closer and you'll be closing more deals than you're closing right now. So let's just get into number 1. Number 1, you got to hire a coach. Now, if you've been on my channel for a little bit, you probably know that one of my mentors is Pace Morby. If you don't know who Pace Morby is, then you might be living under Patrick Starr's rock. But I hop on a Q&A with Pace the very first day that I hired him as a coach. This is about 3 or 4 years ago. And he pulled back the curtains in my business and he saw that I was generating leads. And he also saw that I had no deals. So he was like, Mike, what the heck is going on? As he dug a little bit deeper, he found out that I just needed sales training. He's like, Mike, you got to go get better at talking to sellers. So that's what I did for the next 6 to 12 months. So the first thing a coach is going to do, they're going to see the things that you are not seeing, and they're going to point you in the right direction. And then here's the second thing that hiring a coach did for me. I was able to see a process. I was able to see all the things that I needed to get on all of these conversations, okay? So first thing, I got directed in the right position. Second thing, I got a step-by-step blueprint on what to go do on these calls. And the third thing, I graduated to a kingdom closer, an effective communicator. So I was not married to the process, but simply I was able to take that process, and the coaches around me, while I was going through the process with a lot of these motivated sellers, they would show me, hey, this is what you could do here. This is what you could do here. So that ultimately I was never married to the process. So now I'm able to take everything that I've learned and I'm able to communicate in everyday life. Right? I'm able to communicate better in my marriage, better at the gym, better at obviously talking to sellers, better at communicating with my team. That's the goal here. The goal is to become a better communicator so that you can influence people in making the best decisions that you think is best in life. So that's number 1, hire a coach. Number 2, you got to practice. Even everybody in the NFL, NBA, they all practice. They actually practice more than they play. If you think about it, people in the NFL practice 5 or 6 days a week and only play 1 game during the week. Practice is so important. When it comes to sales, the best form of practice is role playing. So that's you pretending to be a motivated seller and maybe somebody else pretending to be a buyer and vice versa, you guys going back and forth. What I did in the beginning is I would hop on a Zoom with all these other people making calls during their regular day. And before we got into the real life of doing the calls, we would role play situations. I would think about a situation that I was going to encounter that day. Maybe I had to give an offer to a hard seller, and I would ask the person across from me to go be that type of seller. And we would role play the situation before I actually got into it. So this just prepares you. Not only does it prepare you, that other person sees things that you are not seeing. They're giving you pieces of advices. It's building up encouragement. It's just building you up. That's what practice is supposed to do. So you got to be practicing, okay? Number 3. You got to be out doing the thing. I'm going to keep on bringing up these sports analogies because ultimately I'm a sports guy. I used to play college football. But you got to go out and do the thing. It's interesting. I was watching this thing on the Patriots the other day, and Tom Brady in the beginning, this is going to surprise you, but to be honest, he kind of stunk compared to where he was at when he left his career. When he first started, the Patriots wouldn't even allow him to really throw the ball. He was essentially just the handoff guy. He was just handing the ball off. That's all the Patriots trusted him to do. But then game after game after game, he starts getting more experience and he starts getting better. So the Patriots started having more confidence in him. And he had to get in the game to do that. His confidence started getting built up. He started winning games, and that's what you need. It's momentum. So you need to be out doing the thing. Even if he was losing games, he was still gaining the experience and building up the momentum for his career. So you got to get out and do the thing. And there are 3 different ways, because you might be like, Mike, I don't even have any leads to talk to. I can't get in the game. Well, there are 3 different ways, actually 4, that you can go out and get in the game. First thing, just go out and do the grinding. Go out and do the free lead generation. Go knock doors, go cold call, go do whatever it takes, okay? Now, if you're like me and you're like, man, I don't got enough patience for that, you could just go pay for leads. In the beginning, I had all those leads that I was talking about with that Pace saw. I got all those from a virtual assistant. So simply, you can pay a virtual assistant to go generate you leads. You pay them, and today they will generate you a lead that you can go talk to without you having a cold call, without you having to go door knock. So you can hire a VA to go do that. Number 3, just join somebody's team. There are hundreds of thousands of wholesaling companies out here that need help talking to sellers. So you can just go find out who those wholesaling companies are and go work from them. And day one, you'll be talking to motivated sellers. And number 4, you can go to wholesalewithmike.com where I give free training on sales training. Now, it's for every 4 weeks. This is what the structure is. This is free, by the way. I give a sales training week 1, sales training week 2. I call sellers myself week 3, so you see me doing the thing. In week 4, for free, I provide the leads for you guys to talk to, and in real time, you guys will talk to the leads and I'll give you guys feedback. If you go to wholesalewithmike.com, you will get the texts and the emails of when these Zooms come out. It's every Thursday. We're doing that for the rest of the year. So on week 4, you're going to be able to hop on the call with motivated sellers. And the coolest part is if you close a deal, we're going to partner up. I'm going to help you get the thing to the finish line. And if you get a deal locked up, we're going to partner up on the deal and you could potentially get your first deal if that's what you're looking for. So there's no excuses. You should be out doing the thing. Okay. Number 4, you need to be in the rooms with people doing the same thing. Okay, so everybody around you needs to be going out and talking to motivated sellers. You cannot be doing this business alone. This business is horrendous alone. It's boring alone. Trust me, for like 7 months straight, I tried doing it alone and I got nowhere. I got 0 deals. So you got to get in the same rooms as people doing the same exact things. So here's what I started doing in the beginning when I was first getting better at talking to sellers. Me and about 2 or 3 other people that were doing the business would hop on a Zoom and I would call a seller, they would call a seller. I would call a seller, they would call a seller. And we would go back and forth. We did that for months. Every 4 hours of the beginning of each day, we would talk to motivated sellers. So when I got cursed out, I wasn't sitting in my office alone, right, getting cursed out. I was on a Zoom laughing about it, okay? When I did really good, I wasn't just sitting here like, yeah, good job, Mike. No, they were cheering me on. When I did bad, same deal. I wasn't just like, dang, I could have done better. No, people were giving me some advice. Hey, bro, this is what I did on my last call. Maybe you could have done something like that. You need to be out doing the business with people. Okay. This business is boring alone. To this day, when I call motivated sellers, maybe for my team or even for you guys, I can't stand doing that alone. I actually refuse to sit here in my office by myself calling motivated sellers with nobody else around. Okay. I got to be doing it with people. That's why I'm always on Zooms calling sellers. Okay. That's number 4. Number 5. This is one of my favorite things. You should be recording yourself. And I'm not talking about just an audio recording in your CRM. I'm talking about physically recording yourself, okay? In the beginning, I was recording all my calls, not just an audio file, but I would stand up an old iPhone, and then at the end of the day, me and my wife would sit in bed, and we would physically watch me talk to motivated sellers. Now, obviously, you have the audio. You hear what the conversation looks like, and my wife is giving me feedback on how I could do. But here's why I physically recorded myself. I could see my facial expressions, right? I could see how they were coming out on the call. If I was slunched over and I was kind of like this, you could tell that on the call. The seller could feel that. If I was up, if I was standing on my feet, if I was jacked up, if I was smiling, the seller felt it through the call, right? So I remember when I was first looking at it, first off, listening to yourself. Some people are like, I hate my own voice, and I get it. But you got to get through that. Some people are like, I hate watching myself on video. I get it, but you got to get through that. So in the beginning, that's what I was looking at, right? I was looking at myself and I'm like, oh my gosh, Mike, why do you look like that? Why do you sound like that? You got to change this up. And once I saw it, I was like, ooh, I know exactly how I got to change it up. And then over time, I start changing it up, and that's why you see me. If you go to my YouTube channel, look at all my seller calls, you see me, I'm on a call like this, and I'm like I got all the hand gestures. I might be on my feet and doing the thing. I'm like jacked up. I got that from back in the day, recording myself. So you got to be recording yourself. Okay. And number 6, last but not least, you got to be obsessed. Okay. Like your car should turn into a sales university, right? You should be listening to all the sales books you could be listening to. And here's the number one thing that helped me out as far as like being obsessed and consuming. I was listening to everybody else's calls. The greats. I'm talking about like the Pace Morby, the Grant Cardone, the Jerry Nortons, like all these dudes that have calls on YouTube and stuff. I was listening to their calls Okay. I'm like a monkey see, monkey do type of guy. I'm like, I got to go see the people go doing the thing, and then I could just go do it. So my car turned into a university of just listening to people's motivated seller calls. Here's the thing. I wasn't just listening for people's one-liners and stuff like that. I was really listening and figuring out why they were structuring the call the way that they were structuring it, why they were doing the things that they were doing. And that was one of the number one things that helped me out. So while you're at the gym, instead of turning on the music, instead of turning on the Drake and the little baby, turn on some sales content. Go listen to my seller calls on YouTube. I've done hundreds of seller calls. We used to do this thing back in the day about probably 2-3 years ago on our YouTube lives, where I would hop on a call with my team and I would just call their sellers. It's called How to Wholesale. Go back to my YouTube channel. I've done hundreds of calls. If you are in the Blueprint 2.0 mentorship, you actually have access to all of my seller calls of literally me closing deals. Okay. You will hear me walking sellers through contracts. Go into your vault and you will see the physical recording. You guys have access to all these things. Okay. Go out and find, go out and seek, and you will find and get better. Okay. I hope you can go take these 6 things and go take action for the next 6 to 12 months. If you go take action for the next 6 to 12 months on these 6 things and you do not succeed, then you can come to my office and slap me upside the head, okay? I give you permission to do that. I hope this helped out. I'll catch y'all in the next video. These videos, by the way, Kingdom Closers coming out every single Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. We will catch y'all next Wednesday. Peace out.